What is going on YouTube? Clint with Prestige Aquatics back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a full fish room tour. You're not going to want to miss this. Stay tuned. Okay, we're gonna start off on the 75s and 55s rack. Have two 75s on the top and two 55s on the bottom. On this rack, we're keeping fish from all over the globe. We have African cichlids, rainbow fish, platies, angelfish, American cichlids, and more. We'll start up in the top right corner. We've got Neolampologus multifasciatus, or multi-shell dwellers. Probably got about 100 in here. So you can see some fry swimming around. The adults are just really starting to come into their own and get more confident. You see them all throughout the water column. Next up, we have the rainbow fish community tank, and this is a tank I've really been enjoying lately. These fish are really personable and they recognize you and come up to the glass when you enter the room. Just a really fun fish. Got 3 different species in here. We've got turquoise rainbows, millennium rainbows, and Bosemani rainbow fish. Next up, we have just a little community aquarium here. It's heavily planted. Not really sure how I like this scape, but I'll be doing some adjustments to it in the future. Got some painted platies, a few fancy guppy males, and a nice platinum angelfish female in this tank. And in this last tank, we have our male red tiger moda. He's just a really fine specimen of a fish. He's only about 3 inches right now, but he's growing out for my 600-gallon aquarium that I have at my house. Next up, we have our 40s rack. This rack has been set up for quite a while, but it's still definitely a work in progress. Only 3 of these tanks are in their final form. Starting in the top right, we have a planted Endlers tank. These are rainbow tiger Endlers, and they also have a blue dream shrimp in there. These fish are awesome, just really high quality. Got these from Twin Cities Guppies and really have them breeding like crazy right now. Next up, we have another Endlers tank. These are Japan blue gold double swords, and they're just an awesome fish. This is a really cool scape. Ryan actually did this scape, but the jungle valve is taken over in the front and we really need to do some maintenance. Okay, this fish has been a holy grail for me. These are leopard frog plecos. And I set this tank up with just a million caves in it and places to hide, and they all want to hide on the back glass, and I never see them. So it's hard to spend that kind of money on a fish that you never see, but hopefully we'll get them to breed and we can just get an awesome colony tank going. Next up, we have our tiger barbs tank. It's crazy to dedicate a 40 like this to just tiger barbs, but I'm really not planning on keeping them in there. This tank is actually dedicated to some zebra plecos, but I haven't been able to source them. If you know where to get some, why don't you leave a comment down below. Down here we have a little quarantine tank, and this is just holding some tiger Oscars that are going in my 600-gallon aquarium. They're actually all hiding in the back behind that left filter. They really don't like me very much yet. They've only been here about a week, so give them some time and they'll come out. Last tank on this rack is this messy thing, and it doesn't even have fish in it yet, so I won't spend any more time on it. Okay, now we're moving on to my favorite rack in the fish room. This is my Guppies rack. There's 37 tanks on here, and they're all 10-gallon tanks, all plumbed and drilled. The other side will actually also hold 37 more tanks, but I just haven't got them set up yet. Okay, first up on the Guppies rack, we have our half black greens, and they're obviously hungry right now. Something happened to the male's tail in the last couple days. I'm really disappointed in that, but I got a good picture of him recently when his tail was still intact. Next, we have our half black AOCs. This is just an awesome fish. The male has a really cool spotted pattern in his back, and the females are really nice too. Still some fry hanging out in here, need to get them out of there. Next up, we have our half black purples, and it seems the male is in the back in that crazy forest of moss, but the females are really awesome and they're showing off right here. Got a ton of fry for these. We'll show them in a minute. Next up, we have our full reds, and this male is just really a fine specimen. He's got a great tail and tail fin and peduncle, and would really score well with IFGA. Here we have our blue-green bicolor, and this is just a great fish. This male has like almost a powder blue color to him, but then it even gets as deep as some neon. Here we have our red bicolors. This is a really nice fish. This male is just quite a specimen. He has some crazy patterns going down his back. Really unlike any I've ever seen. Next up, we have our purples, and these have been a really big producer for us. We have, let's see, 135 fry up top. We'll show those in a minute. But this male has just got a really nice tail and really nice body shape. Okay, down below here we have some AOC Bicolor Cobras. As you can tell, just another really awesome fish. You can probably tell that we have just really high quality guppies by this point. If you're interested in anything you see, visit prestigeaquaticsfish.com. Here we have some tiger mosaic halfmoons. The female's doing okay. The male's just getting kind of old. You can see he's just not what he used to be, but this was a great fish at one point. I got these at Twin Cities Guppies. And then here we have our big hitters, the Dumbo Santas. These have just been prolific breeders. That female has just been an absolute champ. We have about 163 of their fry up top. We'll show you them in a minute. And our last breeding trio, we have some red mosaics. This is another fish I got from Twin Cities Guppies. Just an awesome fish. And we have quite a few of these fry too, well over 100. I have another colony breeding tank here. These are Galaxy blue tails. Really cool fish. I don't have any of the males in the front right now, but have a ton of fry. Like to get you some. Send me a message or visit Prestige Aquatics Fish. And here we have a guppy hobby staple, and these are the black Moscow guppies. As you can see, we just got them breeding like crazy. Have a ton of fry. Would love to get you some of these. These are the only Endlers on the rack, but we also have them colony breeding. These are the Japan blue-red double sword, and they're very similar to the blue-gold double sword we saw earlier, but their tails are a lot more pronounced, and they really, in my opinion, are cooler fish. We keep all fry produced from our pairs and trios on this top shelf of this rack. On the left we have half black greens, and on the right we have half black AOCs. On the left we have our half black purples, and on the right we have our full reds. As you can see, some of these are coming into maturity, and we have some available for sale now. We have about 85 half black purples and 64 full reds. Next we have two of my favorite fish in the fish room. We have the blue-green bicolors on the left. We have the red bicolors on the right. Some of these are coming into maturity as well. As you can see, that really nice male in the tank on the left and a few nice males on the right. Okay, on the left we have our purples, and on the right we have our blues. These are two very similar looking fish, just a little different sheen to them. Most of our purples are actually young fry, so they won't be available for a while. Here we have our AOC Bicolor Cobras and our Tiger Mosaic Halfmoons. I don't have many of these yet, but just give me some time, I'll get some more fry. Here we have the coolest view in the fish room with the Dumbo Santas on the left and the red Mosaics on the right. As you can see, we just have a ton of these, about 300 combined throughout the 2 tanks. If you're interested in either of these strains, we'd love to get you some. And in this last tank, we just have a few platinum red-tailed big ears, only about 9 of them. Okay, next up, we have what we refer to as rack 1. And that's because this was the first rack in the fish room. That's right, the original, the OG. On this rack, we have mostly 20 longs on the bottom and then 10s on the top. So this rack is entirely dedicated to American cichlids. And since I don't have any fish on the top row yet, I'm gonna be focusing on all these 20 longs. Okay, I wanna apologize for some of the algae in these aquariums. I actually started this video a few days ago and the algae's completely overtaken the glass again. But this is my male Vieja Argentea, and he's a really nice male. I wish he'd show himself to you a little better, but his female actually perished and I've just been trying to get another one for him so that they can breed. And here we have the showstopper, our orange flash cockatoo epistogrammas. These actually bred for me and there's fry in the tank. Maybe I can get a good view of a couple. But they're just pretty much roaming around the tank now. They don't even hang out with the parents too often. They're kind of just coming into their own as their own fish. So it's been a really cool transition to watch. I expect that we'll have these available for you in about 4 months. Okay, and here we have our Hongsloi epistogramma, and this is a really cool fish. This male and that one female have bred, and the other female, I typically only like to get 1 female per tank, but she came to me and she was damaged, like with a swim bladder issue, and so I ordered the other female, and they seem to be getting along all right. Here I have my Borellii epistogramma, and this male is just absolutely awesome. Like the blue in his face, it just doesn't even show up on video like it does in person. His female is kind of small. You can see her back in the left corner under that hornwort. She's really just a juvenile, so we're gonna give her some time to really mature out before I expect these to breed. Okay, and here I have a triple red cockatoo epistogramma. These are just awesome fish. The male's got a really nice red color and the female is just a really deep color as well. Got these recently. He's really starting to come into his own and they're defending that flower pot, so I think it's time to spawn. Okay, and here I have another grow out for the 600-gallon aquarium in my house. This is a Vieja Argentea, really closely related to Synspilum. And it's gonna be an awesome fish with white and black. Really excited to see how he turns out. Next, we're gonna move on to some rams. These are electric blue rams. And this tank is just absolutely in shambles. You can just see all the hornwort I put in here died. I've been dealing with that, but they don't seem to mind, and it hasn't really been raising the TDS or anything. So if they're happy, I'm happy. And here we have some gold rams, and I've kind of got a similar situation going on in here as I do the electric blue rams. It's just, the tank is just absolutely in shambles, but as you can see, the fish seem to be doing great. They're all showing spawning behavior and hopefully a few pair off soon. Now we're moving on to rack 2. This is the second rack that we put in the fish room, and it's just all 20 longs on it. Only 5 of these tanks have fish in it right now, so let's take a look. These 3 aquariums are just hosting some rainbow fish fry that I'm growing out. On the left, we have Peacocks, the middle, we have turquoise, and on the right, we have millenniums. In these 2 aquariums, I have swordtails, and I'm not sure how I feel about them. I know the tanks look terrible, but they're just kind of aggressive for live bearers, and I just feel like I prefer the Guppy or the Endler to the swordtails. Let me know what you all think in the comment section below. Am I crazy? Okay, Okay, now we're gonna move on to our 90-gallon Peacock Cichlids aquarium. I don't know too much about African cichlids for the most part. I got the starter pack from Imperial Tropicals, and then I added a few more that I liked. I've got no escape going on in this aquarium, but the stocking is really cool. Just a ton of color and personality, and I really want to get more into cichlids now that I've had this aquarium. Okay, the last tank in the fish room is this 125-gallon community aquarium. This tank is just a shadow of its old self. The plants aren't doing very well. We had a big algae bloom in here, but I really like the stocking. We have electric blue acaras, some German blue rams, and these platinum angelfish and one black angelfish, along with some other schooling fish, some cherry barbs, and some black neons. This tank has a ton of potential, and I'm thinking about doing a rescape. If you think I should rescape this, leave a comment down below. Okay, one of the most popular things in the fish room is this 300-gallon fancy guppy pond. I actually did a video on this, and it performed really well on YouTube. I'll leave a link or a box up in the corner so you can check that out. The last thing I want to talk about in the fish room is this automatic water change system. This thing took me about 3 months to build, and I had to have help from professional plumbers. I designed it all, and I talk about it in my video, Automatic Water Change, Don't Make This Mistake. I'll leave a box up in the corner so you can check that video out if you're interested. And there you have it. That completes the tour. Thanks for watching to the end. If you like this, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content like this in the future. We really appreciate you watching, and until next time.